Good morning. We are about to head home from Columbia. We had a nice night, nice dinner at the hotel. Wonderful people, and I'm not sure. I might. The state may not own the whole town of Columbia, but they own a good portion of it, and they're doing a great job over there. And it's time to go home. But this morning we got partly cloudy, but I'm going to set in some more conditions. So let's go ahead, and I've got the track. We're going to fly a IFR low altitude, and we take off from Columbia. Our little departure is it says direct here, which is fine. We can go direct, or actually, we had it off of runway 35. Let's go. Let's go off. Well, actually, 35 is just fine because we can just use our direct departure. Let's look out here. Well, the only instrument departure. Let's see. They got fetch of 4 and 3. So let's do runway 17 here. Departure. Right there, departure. So we're heading kind of south, and departure. This 17, which takes us over to Stockton. We don't want to quite go there. So let's see what we got here. Let's try the other one, and it doesn't much matter. So what we can do is take this. This is Everett, so we can go Everett and just remove that. And that makes it a little more direct across there. We're climbing quick enough so these hills along here, we won't run into the hills, will be high enough so we don't have to go up here to Stockton to miss the hills. And then after that, we come down to Salinas, make an approach to Monterey right there. And they'll probably run us up to 10, 14, 15,000 feet. We'll see what that is. Let's put in the weather. And we're gonna go. We got to turn off the weather, the live weather. Let's see how I do that here. Live preset custom. We'll go custom, and we got to turn off the live weather. There we go. And let's see. We got to put in some rain. There we go, and then we run our overcast down here. Yeah, we can do this. Run that right down to the ground. So we're between. Oh, we're minus. We need to be. So we need to go up with this. That's okay. We can bring this down. So we wanna go on top. Let's see here. 12.5, and this one goes down 4,000. We can run this down to the ground, run it down to about 400 feet. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Here, we could have moved top and bottom over here. Density, we can put more density, and it's overcast, so I could have done that a little more. Density, we'll put density pretty thick there. Scattered to. Yeah, we can leave it open a little bit, 70%. This is the first time I've been over in here. And rain, I think that'll do it. Okay, let's click that in. We close this out. And now we go to fly. And we have to boot up. This looks like it got glaciated out here. No hills. If there are any, there would we can't even call them gentle rolling hills. look at the rain here. Okay, we click this. It looks like hail. Wow, that's what we love. We got the boots so we can handle it. And let's move this in a little bit. And what we need to do is find out what altitude they want us to go to and crank that in. Try a departure here. So it wants us to go to 8,000 feet. And that ought to do it. Climb to 8,000. Alright, so we'll put 8,000 in on the altitude. 2, 4, 6, 4, 5, 6, 68, 8,000. 8,000 feet. Here we go. Vertical speed, we can climb at 2,000 feet a minute down at sea level. So we move this to 2,000. Right over on the right there, you see the number just down to the right of the yellow wheel. And we can also see 2,000 feet a minute right there on the main panel. And 8,000 is our altitude we're climbing to. We're going to use nav. Click on the nav, and as soon as we break ground, I'll hit my red button, which turns on the autopilot yaw dampener. So we can turn those off now. Got our vertical speed. Gonna click nav, make a right turn. We're taking off on runway 17. We're heading 177 degrees. All right, we get this out of the way, and let's go outside. This you know, I like to go outside so you see what the surrounding area looks like. This is a little confining in here, which is just fine for the pilot. The pilot has to see these two items right there. Well, you know that. You don't have to have me telling you. But just for those that aren't pilots and just like to see the overall picture, take the brakes off and come up to full power. Yeah, the weather came in. Nice day in Colombia. Okay, we're coming up to airspeed. There's runway 17. We look back, rotate, and hit the wheels up, the flaps up, and we go back. Click the autopilot so it'll come to the right just a little bit, not much. Look at how our heading is. We're right on course, and we're climbing. We're already up. We're climbing at 3,000 feet a minute. Something's not right here. We got to get back out here. What's going on? The autopilot didn't kick on. Yeah, the autopilot didn't kick on. Get the nose back down. Now it's getting back on track. Yeah, I gotta make sure I see the autopilot come on here, because the buttons, I've got a little glitch in my system. Now, see, it's kind of wandering around here. It had too much of a correction to get on course, so it's feeling its way back. We'll go ahead and let it run at this point. But to take care of that, when you got a greater turn than 45 degrees, or a greater angle of interception of the course, you can use the heading, and then you can just direct it to where you want to go to get back on course. So that's called proficiency and currency. And at the age of 86, I'm no longer proficient or current. But I don't have to be, because this is not real. This is a simulation. So let's go back outside, show you we're in the soup. We're climbing we're over 5,000 feet, and we didn't hit anything. So at 5,000, we're above any hills at this time, and you can see we're going out into the green valley here. The hills are behind us. The tan color is behind us. Colombia is behind us. We've got 146 degrees. We almost wiped out, but we're off and running right now, and it is daytime. Oh no, I think actually we took off at night, so I have to reset the time so we get back on daylight. That's one thing I forgot. Yeah, absolutely. When you're flying, you need checklists. You do need checklists, so we'll put the sun a little bit behind us. We're breaking out on top. We got some higher clouds. And so let's see if who called. Oh, so we have to call them because there wasn't a tower there. So we contact Oakland Center. And we should have.
Center Daughter 527 Bravo Charlie is passing 7,500 feet, climbing 8,000 feet.
And we would have done that.
Daughter 527 Bravo Charlie, Oakland Center altimeter 29er.9er, 2 radar contact. Continue to connect.
We would have done that.
Daughter 7 Bravo Charlie, climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
Okay, 13,000 feet. Okay, we're making a little adjustment. 13,000, we'll get that in. 13,000 feet, and you can see our vertical speed had turned off, so we have to crank back in 18. Yes, I did, but I didn't acknowledge, so let's go do that.
Climb and maintain 13,000 feet, Daughter 7 Bravo Charlie.
So what we would have done in a real situation, of course, most of you know this, we would have immediately after establishing a climb and would be in radio contact above the hills, we would have contacted Oakland. I forget what departure. We can look back here. We can look back here. Oh yeah, it's Oakland departure, I think. Might have been Oakland, whatever. The air traffic control, and they would have given us the 14,000 feet at that time. So, well, 13,000 feet. So we are off and running. Let's see, I can now turn the separator off so we get a little more air in and we get a little more power to climb with. I don't think I can put it quite on full power. Either it's going to over torque or overheat, one of the two. So I have the throttle. Oh, we have one engine today. I have the throttle cracked back. My my throttle quadrant is just has one throttle handle, one throttle lever. Okay, we're climbing fine. We click this off, but just as soon as we do that, they'll come back and tell us we need to do something, and we can look outside. This is the way it would look when you're flying the airplane. But I like this look because it's fun. I love the pretty pictures. Look at that. This is broken. Clouds down below. You can actually see down and see the ground. But what we took off in was a cell, and you had to have instrument. And probably this is not big enough holes to climb. You can't stay clear of the clouds, so you really need an instrument rating to climb to on top. We happen to be between layers. This happens quite often. Where you're between layers, that's probably some rain coming out of that cell over there. I don't see it coming out underneath, but when they build up, they start throwing the rain out when they get into the right climatic conditions to do that. But this is the fun of flying instruments. You get on top. You can't see what you've learned is always to fly with a chart. Suddenly you rely on your instruments. Here I see we would be looking outside when you're flying because you want to see the panel, the engine torquing. It's so over torquing a little bit there, so I cracked the throttle back about 1/8 of an inch, and that adjusted that. Anyway, here we are on course. I don't know what this is right here, but I'm going to it's like a holding pattern, so I'm going to take it off of that. I'm going to put the heading right out in this direction and hit the heading button. That's what That's what the pilot's for. Heading, and make sure the nav goes off. I learned that the other day. Sometimes if both stayed on, the heading, and I don't know whether that in a real Garmin setup, whether that's real or not, that both of these stayed on. Now I'll click the nav, see how both are on. It'll go with the heading. So so there's no confusion. I'll turn the nav off, and we'll get away from this part right here. That's called a holding pattern, and we don't want to hold. I don't think they told us to hold, but maybe they did. So we look back here at the old messages. Did you hear my last transmission? Yeah, climb and maintain 13,000. I didn't see anything that said hold. Okay, let's turn the heading off and turn the nav on. And we got the autopilot on. So this should turn magenta or pink. It's not turning pink. And what we can do is go down here and turn on the flight plan, and let's see what the next intersection is. Owen. That's Owen. So let's go flight plan Owen and Gilroy. So we turn on Owen and hold, and flight plan will go direct, activate direct. There we go. So we got rid of the holding pattern. slowly but surely I'm learning how to run this stuff, because this was not available back in the 60s and 70s when I flew. They had just gotten into GPS, but the devices weren't this exotic, weren't this. And we back this out a little bit, like that. Let's go back outside, because it's fun. It's fun to look. And I believe we're okay. Let's just check our instruments again, make sure nothing's overheating. And we got our nav is on, and we got the pink line on. This is all green. Everything that's green is active up on top here. And we got our altitude we're holding is 13,000 on the time. On the climb, we're not climbing or descending, so none of the numbers are out on this side. We're just holding steady at 13,000 feet. Here we got the distance to go to Owen. We got 10 miles to go to Owen. So there's Owen, and that's 10 miles left to go, and then we turn left and start heading over toward Gilroy. And hopefully it picks up on our flight plan to go over that way and take us over to Monterey. So time to break out the sandwiches and drinks, and I am the steward. So at this point in my life, yeah, I know how to fly an airplane, but the mind and those kinds of things, multitasking, I'm not 100%. I don't know where I'm running at this point. 80%, 70. Some would say 40, 30. Anyway, we got a hired pilot who's sitting in the left seat. So he's
7 Bravo Charlie, contact Oakland Center on 127.45.
okay. We'll go back inside, and we tell him okay.
127.45, 7 Bravo Charlie. Goodbye.
So when you get into different sectors, they put you on a different frequency. Even though the voice might be the same,
Bravo, Charlie, 13,000 feet.
it's a guy handling or gal. So it's a woman now. So she has a different screen where she is, and I think they're south of Oakland is actually where the facility is. Maybe in Hayward is where Oakland Center is on the ground. So now we're picking up, and we should get this this part of the it should light up as soon as we go past Owen. Owen. So we're just supposed to continue, and yes, the next part of the path between Owen and Smone is the active. Everything here is in green. This numbers are fine here. We got the flaps up. We got the gear. The gear's right behind here. The gear is up. We're in good shape. Inertial separation's off, and I don't know that none of these are on. We're not in icing. It looked like it was hailing where we took it off. You would this time of year you'd run into icing conditions if it was raining. So you'd have all of these de-ice stuff would be on. I don't have to worry about it because the aircraft, I don't think it ices up. It's nice that we have. You can see the boots. They call these de-icing. These are rubberized things which expand and knock the ice off on the leading edge of the horizontal stabilizer. There's a boot there, and there's a boot on the vertical stabilizer, and those expand and contract with air, and that breaks the ice off, and it goes into the air, and hopefully it melts before it hits the ground. Don't want to hit poor Henny Penny and the sky is falling. That goes way back. Okay, now we got our next one is to the next one. We got 1.8 miles to our next fix. So we are now heading toward Gilroy. We went by Modesto, but I didn't pick up on that. We wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. Might have been able to peek through the broken clouds. Okay, it just flipped. I just saw this go color. So here our next leg. The legs are straight at this point. Our next leg is now magenta, pink, purple, whatever color you like. I think everything I got. I think I got all the things checked. We should be looking like this, because you could have some traffic. You could have some guy that got caught between layers, came up through a hole, so-called hole, quote unquote. It probably flew through some clouds, and he's got to get home, so he's flying between the layers without an instrument rating. Fewer and fewer people are doing that. They know the drawbacks to doing that. Now we can see far enough down on this scope. This scope here is for that's on the outside. When you look at the airplane, that's using the radar in here, and that's our weather radar, and it also picks up our other targets, I believe. I don't understand how everything's working here. Which, if you owned this airplane and you were the exclusive pilot, you'd have to know all that stuff. I'm retired. I'm having too much fun to start relearning. Although it's fun fun to be using this equipment that I never saw when I was flying. Really exciting stuff that they have. And I'm going to take this. This was created on a Dell Alien computer. First thing we had to do for this game 4 years ago is we had to triple or quadruple the RAM so it would boot up quicker. Everything else was pretty much okay. I think we upgraded the graphics card too, if that's the term, to run this thing. So I thought I'd purchased the state of art from Dell to run my flight simulator, but my computer guru said, no, you don't want to sit there for 10 minutes waiting for things to boot up. And the graphics, I have a little jumping when I'm flying the Dark Star. Looks like it's skipping ever so slightly when you're at 100,000 feet going Mach 9.8. It does a little skipping up there. That could be my computer, or that could be just a glitch in the program. Let's blame it on my computer. The program is awesome, just awesome. There's a slight course adjustment. Now we're on a new leg here. We went by board. I guess that's called board. B-O-R-E-D, Bow-Red, maybe, Bow-Red. So the next point is Gilroy, and then after that we can see over here on this side we can get a little heads up on where we're going. And so down here SNS is Salinas, and we make a right turn to head out to Z-bed, which is where we come inbound on the instrument landing system, but now it's called
$7 Bravo Charlie descend and maintain 3,600 feet.
Okay, let's go back out here. Go in the middle. Sorry I didn't finish. Here we go. We got to answer her, or she's going to nag us. Down to 3,600.
3,600 feet, $7 Bravo Charlie.
So now we take the altitude and move it in the other direction to get down to 3,600. Vertical speed will go down at about, let's go down at about 1,500 feet a minute. We could go a little faster, but I think that's going to be plenty. Keep it comfortable for the passengers. And I think that's working. Yeah, we see we got the 1,500 descent here, and you can see it's going down, and you can see this is on my panel. I say my panel, I'm pretending I'm the pilot. I guess I'm the pilot, I'm running this thing. So we're going down to 3,600 feet is our altitude, and that was given to us by Oakland Center. Couldn't think of center the other time. Air traffic control or Oakland Center. And then you have departure, approach, talk to different people. I don't know where those people, whether they're in Oakland or whether they're, when you have a departure control, it's probably local. Somebody up in the tower. But they have a radar scope in front of them. Go back outside. Yeah, we're starting to see it break up, but we'll stay on our instrument flight plan. And what I think is neat is you can see the Garmin
$7 Bravo Charlie, you are 3 miles northeast. Maintain present, heading and altitude. Expect localizer runway 10 right approach by Sierra November Sierra transition.
Yep.
Clear to Sierra November Sierra.
Yep. Got it. Sierra November Sierra is Salinas.
Runway 10 right approach via Sierra November Sierra transition. Clear to Sierra November Sierra $7 Bravo Charlie.
I actually understand all that, and this the 10 right approach. It's not an ILS. I can't think of it. It has to do with the using. Now I can't think of the word. I'll think of it. Go back here. Yeah, we'll go on the other side. Let's look the other way. These are the foothills off the Salinas, probably going over toward Hollister. And we're getting down here. We're at 8,000. We're heading for, right here it says 3,600 feet. Going 292, we're truing out at 292 knots, which is well over 300 miles an hour. We're probably breaking the speed limit. Above 12,500, you can go over 250 knots, I think, or miles per hour. So let's see how it looks on our screen. We're coming up to Salinas, and we'll be making a right turn, head out toward Monterey. So we're doing fine on our descent. 1,500 feet a minute was just fine. If
Delta 7 Bravo Charlie, contact NorCal, approach on 133.0. Good day.
Our torque is snuck up, so now we can put on, because we're going to be getting down to the birds. So we need to go in here and scroll down and turn on the diverter, so we don't get a bird in the engine.
Delta 7 Bravo Charlie, please acknowledge.
Yeah, I missed that because I was talking. Normally with a pilot and co-pilot, one guy's handling. So he said, oh, we wanted to change our frequency. So it's a approach. So it probably, I don't know where NorCal approach is.
Delta 7 Bravo Charlie, please acknowledge.
I talk too much.
133.0, Delta 7 Bravo Charlie. Goodbye.
Then you got to remember to call them or nothing happens. They don't call you. You got to call them.
NorCal approach Delta 527 Bravo Charlie is passing 5,800 feet, descending 3,600 feet.
Delta 527 Bravo Charlie NorCal, approach altimeter 29.902 radar contact. Continue to Sierra November Sierra.
I never talk about it, but here's where you would reset the barometric pressure, and there's probably, yeah, see this, you could change the barometric pressure right there, but this machine just runs on 2992 and pretends like there's no difference in pressure. But anyway, I don't know that I've ever explained that. And we're getting back in the soup, which is fun. Not so much fun for the passengers, but they don't care. They're having their sandwiches and dips and chips and hors d'oeuvres, goodies, and drinks. Just having fun. So we'll look down a little bit so we can see the surrounding coastal hills. Steinbeck country. That's probably, we're rolling into a turn, so we're probably over Salinas. Yep, we're right over Salinas. So we can look down through the holes and see the city of Salinas. That's probably Salinas VOR that we're right over. But we're right in it, so we can't see the ground. All right, let's stay inside. Make sure we're heading out to Monterey for approach out there. Getting a little rain again. Get this in a little closer so you can see what's going on here. And we're at 3,600 feet, so the vertical speed light goes off because we're not climbing or gliding. Still got nav, and when we get on approach out here, after we make a little procedure turn around and come back in on track, when that lights up, we hit the approach, and then it'll lock on to the glide slope, which will take us down to the end of the runway. The localizer keeps us lined up with the runway, and the glide slope controls our rate of descent to the runway. So we just ride down the escalator to the end of the runway. Still going like hell. We've got the we could come up on the power just a little bit. We have a little distance to go. Got from Salinas. Say goodbye to Steinbeck. Actually, Steinbeck's boat that he bought for Doc Ricketts was finished and came back into Monterey Harbor. It's going to be parked here. They got another word for that. Not stored, not parked, but stationed, maybe stationed in Monterey. And the hold, which would it was a fishing boat, which would hold fish. It when Steinbeck and Doc were using it, they were doing research. They were partying. Let's face it. And but Doc did a lot of research. He wrote some books, and they're still bestsellers apparently for biology. He was a marine biologist, but he didn't learn his marine biology. He was a lab tech for the Army at the Presidio in Monterey for the Army during the Second World War, and then he became interested in the ocean species, and he found some species nobody knew about. So his name, Ricketts or Rickety, is on some of the species he found in tide pools, so forth. That's what he was interested in, was the shoreline. So they'd go up and down in the fishing boat called the Western Flyer, and they've totally restored the Western Flyer, which had sunk. I think when it was found, before they started restoring it, it was sitting underwater when they found it. And boy, that was a job. That took 5, 6, 7 years to rehab the boat. It's better than new. It's got state-of-the-art equipment on it, and it came sailing into the Monterey port. You can probably find a YouTube that'll show you. It'll show you the reconstruction of the Western Flyer. So Steinbeck lives.
Daughter 7 Bravo Charlie, you are 5 miles northwest of Monterey. Contact Monterey Tower on 118.4 when inbound on the approach.
Okay.
Tower on 118.4, daughter 7 Bravo Charlie.
So when we're inbound on approach, that would be we fly across here, and Monterey is right off to our left right now. You can't see it because we're in the clouds, in the soup. We fly out past Pacific Grove, and we get out here in the ocean, out to the west, and come around this turn. This will light up pink or whatever color you want to call it. And when we start coming inbound, she said inbound, Northwest inbound on approach, contact tower 118.4. So we could click that now, but let's wait until we're inbound, because we are still being watched by air traffic control. NorCal approach. We'll wait on that. And then we got to start, as we get on this, we'll start slowing down to probably 150, 140, and get ready for our approach, which will be closer to landing speed of this airplane. So probably we'll run the approach coming downhill into Monterey at about 100 knots. There, the procedure turn just lit up. We're making a slight left turn. You can see we're in a bank to the left here, 3,600 feet, we can drop down. Let's get back out here so we can start dropping our altitude down for our approach. Altitude, let's bring it down to, let's go down to 1,800 feet. We could go 2,500, 2,600. We'll just go 2,600. And then when we come inbound at the outer marker, which is right over Asilomart, Pacific Grove, we want to be going 100 knots, and we want to be at 1,800 feet. And then it will intersect, couple up on the glide slope and the ILS and localizer, and we click approach, and that'll couple it up. So I can just let the airplane fly itself. Let it just fly itself. So here we can start slowing down. What are we going now? 240. So we'll bring the power back to about, let's see what percent we're at here. We're about 50% shows, somewhere in there. So it'll start slowing down. Still hold our altitude. See, it's going down to 2,600. We're already at 2,600. And just as we start inbound, when we get almost around direct, we can call Monterey Tower. We can call them right now. We'll look outside at the weather. And we can't see the ground or anything, but we're doing fine. Doing fine. I was showing somebody this the other night. I don't drink anymore, but that darn airplane was flying a little bit sideways. It used to do that way back when I had one of the controls that we have with this program. There are probably about 500 different variations you can run. But it was a basic variation. They have one that's legacy, and the other one is modern. I think one of the two things. I was going with legacy because I'm a legacy. That's what I think of myself. And anyway, it needed to be on modern for things. That when I was on the autopilot, it would have rudder creep. And so the airplane, when you push rudder in it, the thing will fly a little bit sideways. And didn't like that. Didn't affect it. It still flew, but didn't look right. Okay, now we're going to shut up and call tower. And we go right here.
Monterey Tower, Daughter 527 Bravo, Charlie 15 miles west inbound, localizer runway 10 right approach.
1,800.
Daughter 527 Bravo, Charlie Monterey Tower. Altimeter 29er.9er, 2 wings 257 at 10. Cleared localizer, runway 10 right approach.
Here we go. And we won't hear any more from him, so we'll take
Cleared
that
localizer, runway 10 right approach, Daughter 7 Bravo, Charlie.
Till we touch down. So we're dropping down to 1,800 feet. We got to click approach. And you see there's some in white, so we haven't attached. It's on standby, but it hasn't hooked up yet. It'll turn green when it hooks up. But it's tracking back toward Pacific Grove. And you know, I'm not sure where we will break out. Doesn't matter if we do, if we were in a real airplane. If we didn't back out, we'd shoot a missed approach, and we'd have to go over here. We'd have to fly, and there's a procedure for that. I don't believe I've ever had a missed approach in all the flying that I've done. No missed approaches were initiated. Anyway, it says a certain altitude, there's certain headings, and those would light up magenta if you did it. And we're at 1,800 feet, and we're about to hit, when we hit Z-bed, it'll start down. So we'll stay right in here, so you see that. Let's go out just a little bit more. There we go. So when we hit, now we want to be going, no, we're still going too fast, so we want to get that. We can, as we get slowed up, we can put the gear down and maybe a notch of flap, get this down to 100 miles, 100. We see things are green, down 160. And oh, here, see right here, over on the left screen, and just to the middle, you see our glide slope coming down. When that comes down to the middle, it will hook onto the glide slope and follow that down. Right now it goes above us, it shoots over our head. So we're going to intercept the glide slope from underneath. And when we do that, it'll grab onto the glide slope.
Charlie wind 257 at 10. Cleared to land runway 10 right.
Here we go.
Clear to land runway 10 right, Dotter 7 Bravo
So you
Charlie.
see, there it goes. It's just hooked onto the glide slope. We can turn this off. And that should turn, yeah, turn magenta. Everything's green in here, so we're all hooked up. We're locked onto the localizer, so that's our heading. And the glide slope, you can see we're following the glide slope down to the end of the runway. Here, we're just coming out. We just broke out. And now you can look here. There's a little bit of scud we're going to go through, so it's lucky we have an instrument rating to fly through the scud right down to the ground. I've never seen actually the low scud like when I was flying I did, but on this computer setup. And you can adjust that. You can tune that in or tune it out. So we need to slow down a little bit more. Need to get it down, and full flap will do that. That'll slow us down. We want to get down to about 100. So that could be like a rain squall right there. And back inside, you see everything is right on track. Everything's good. Everything's green. You want green. So we'll get, actually let's stay in here so you can see what it would be like to come out right on the, see, you're starting to pick up the strobes. And I didn't get full flap in. There's full flap.
Landing gear, landing gear, landing gear, landing gear, landing gear, landing gear.
Should have had the landing gear down. See, that's why you need a checklist. Okay, now we can turn the autopilot off. Power back. Good. Yep. See, I needed to be back here on the tail like that. I hadn't readjusted my approach. I have a slight defect in my control, in my yoke.
Dollar 7 Bravo, Charlie exit runway when able.
So, yeah, so when I click something, it doesn't always take place, so I have to get that fixed. It's like a little telephone wire. It's got a little jack on it, like the phones were when we used to
$7
plug.
Bravo, Charlie contact ground on 120.875.
When we plugged in our phones, so it's like a phone jack. I gotta get a new wire because something's amiss. when it doesn't do what I think it does, I need to shake it. Here we go.
Dollar 7 Bravo, Charlie. Did you hear my last transmission?
Yeah, I'm talking too much. Okay. And ground.
120.875, Dotter 7 Bravo
There's
Charlie.
Monterey ground.
Goodbye.
This is where I got my instrument rating, right here at Monterey.
Monterey ground, Dotter 527 Bravo Charlie,
Taxiing
taxi
too
to parking.
fast.
Daughter 527 Bravo Charlie taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha Kilo, cross runway 10 right Juliet Bravo.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to go right in here. We'll go down here so you can see the terminal. If you ever fly in on an airliner, this is your terminal right down here. And we'll just turn right in here. And it has been raining
Bravo
here.
Charlie, please acknowledge.
Yeah, okay. Here we go. There you go.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha Kilo cross runway 10 right Juliet Bravo, Daughter 7 Bravo Charlie.
Thanks for riding along, and we'll give you a quick look around. The Navy used to operate on this side when the guys would come here to the postgraduate school, the Navy postgraduate school. They could keep their flight proficiency. Look at this rain. This rain squall is coming in here. So the visibility really is closing in. That can happen. So that's when you have to shoot a missed approach, when you can't see the runway, when you get down to minimums. Anyway, I'm having so much fun. I can't tell you how much. Then I used to instruct here. I did that for about 6 months. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing hardly anything. I'm having fun with this, talking to you guys. Thanks for watching. Au revoir. Adios. Goodbye.